All right, what is going on YouTube? This is Travis P11 bringing you part 3 in my review of this phone, the ZTE Max Duo 4G LTE phone on Straight Talk. You know, I wasn't even gonna do a part 3 for this video. I've been using the phone for about 3 days now, and I just figure at this point, you know, people either know about the phone or they don't, or they think they're gonna get it or they won't. I did get a case from Phonalicious on Amazon. I believe Phonalicious is the name of the vendor. It's the same type of case that I have on my LG 22C Power. Great case. $9, $10 delivered. Works great, and it came with the screen cover. The reason why I decided to do a part 3 is because early this morning I got a comment that somebody had posted on my part 2 of my video, or part 1, saying, would you consider this phone over an iPhone 5S? I gave him an explanation of what I thought about it, and I wanted to put this in my video to you. It's something to think about. Now, you might say, 5S, you know, who wants a 2 or 3 year old cell phone, right? Why would you even bother? Well, there might be somebody getting a 5S, and maybe somebody's going to give it to them, and they want to do that instead of buying a new phone, which is certainly fine. If you go to Straight Talk's website, the reason why a person might consider a 5S is pretty compelling. $149.99. The phone, I believe it is locked. Yes, it is locked into Straight Talk wireless only, so you can't buy it and just go take it to another carrier. I don't know if you could jailbreak it or not. It is with a 16 gig capacity, which is what the Max Duo ZTE phone also has. And I thought about going with an iPhone 5S. I was really seriously considering it, mainly because the next step up for unlocked iPhones, if you don't have one to bring into the plan, obviously, aside from the 5S, you start to run into the 6. We're just checking the Straight Talk website here today. Okay, we're getting there. Just bear with me, guys. 6S Plus is $750 unlocked. That's $750. Let's see. iPhone 6S is $650, and an iPhone 6 is $400. Okay, whether you want it in black or white. So, you know, that was definitely out of my budget. $200 was the most I wanted to spend on this phone. And if you go to the Straight Talk website, this phone is available if you have Verizon towers in your area. You should be able to buy it at your local Walmart or buy it online. But be careful, by the way. Make sure you don't buy the GSM version unless you want to run it on AT&T and Sprint, I believe. Okay, so back to the question. Would I take my phone over an iPhone 5S? I'm going to answer that with a no and a yes. Why would I not take a 5S over the phone that I bought? Honestly, this is going to sound really bad, but I was reading the reviews, quite a few of the reviews online, and I know you can only take them with a grain of salt, but a lot of people were complaining about quality control issues with the phone. They were having problems with the phone. It was crapping out, or the screens were going bad. Now, you know, it could be somebody dropping their phone and then a week later they write the review and the phone has issues. There were a lot of people that gave the phone 1-star reviews on Walmart.com because they didn't realize the phone couldn't be taken back to Verizon or taken to another network. They weren't happy about the fact that it was locked into Straight Talk, even though it says right here in the not so fine print, okay, bold print, that it's secured for Straight Talk wireless only. And another part of it, I guess, is when all the OS updates have been installed, how much storage space is really going to be left in it? You know, I don't know. My wife's using an iPhone 5 currently on a Verizon prepaid plan, and she does have some space left in it, but she's starting to run out. So the only reason why I chose not to go with this one, the quality control scared me a little bit, and then also just the lack of space after everything was installed. Now you might say, well, yeah, but your Android phone only has 16 gigs. Yeah, but the OS only takes up about 7 or 8, so I still have 8 gigs of free space, plus I can store stuff on the SD card that I installed in it. That was kind of the kicker for me. Why should a person go with an iPhone 5S over this phone, over the ZTE Max Duo? If you're somebody that's a previous iPhone owner, if you're entrenched in iCloud and iTunes and a bunch of Apple apps and photos, you know, if you're kind of in that whole, I don't know what you want to call it, modeling setup or presentation of media, whatever you want to call it, then you might not want to switch away and go to Android because it might be hard to port all that material over. You know, I'm sure there's a way to import your photos and your music and so on. But if you're so entrenched in the whole ecosystem of iOS, you might not want to go away from iPhone, okay, from an iPhone. So again, just something to think about. You know, it was a great question. And I'm not hating on the iPhone at all. I've got an iPad, I've got a MacBook Pro, My job, we use entirely Macs all throughout the building that I work at. So I'm not against Apple. I think iPhones are great. I just, it was just out of my budget at this point to go with an iPhone. So is the iPhone 5S better than the ZTE Max Duo? Again, yes and no. It's better if you're already in the Apple ecosystem. It's going to work great for you. It's a great deal at $149.99. But no, it's not such a good deal if you have to get out of the ecosystem. I do like the bigger screen on the Max Duo. I mentioned before that as my eyes get older, it's easier for me to see on a larger screen. I think older people might appreciate it. I used to think that these large screen cell phones were just kind of obnoxious and just too much phone for one person to really need. But it's just so much easier to read stuff on the screen. I've had small screens for such a long time that it is nice to have the larger real estate to read off of. So anyway, that's just kind of my take on it. The Max Duo has been working great. If you're thinking about buying one, pick one up. If you don't like it, Walmart gives you 15 days to return it. I got a case with a screen cover for $10, and I bought 2 USB Type-C 6-foot power cables for $12, I think, for 2 of them. Just got them from Amazon. And I'm very happy with the phone. It only runs down about 30 or 40% per day. That's all it's been doing right now. The battery is really solid, and I've been talking on it quite a bit. I've been using it a lot, just to kind of mess around and stuff. So check out my part 1 and 2 on this phone, and just see what you think. I do run through all the specs on it and stuff. I just think it's a really cool phone for the money. At this time, available on the Straight Talk Network. So anyway, give me some feedback on your videos. It's been great hearing from you guys, and a lot of people have just been happy that there's actually a review on this phone out that covers, the hardware and the specs and so on. So anyway, I babbled enough. Hopefully I gave you some ideas, some things to contemplate. So if you're teetering between an iPhone and this, it just kind of comes down to, how much are you into the whole Apple thing right now? Have you been using iPhones your whole life or whatever? Or for a good portion of your life or not? It just depends on how much you want to give for your money. So I'll leave that decision up to you. Anyway, this is Travis P11, and be safe, have fun, and we will talk to you soon.